This is San Angelo Rodeo Live. My name is Joe Hyde. My co-host is Ryan Chadwick. Today is Wednesday. This is a pre-show to performance number 9er.
Yep, number 9.
Notice how I said 9?
Yes.
9er.
I did.
Yeah.
I saw that.
That's so that people would understand that it's 9, right? Or 5. That's
I don't know.
Performance number 9.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wednesday night.
They don't like pilot jokes. Yeah, Wednesday night. But we thought that we would do a kind of a recap of where we are in the rodeo, so you can kind of, if you're jumping in here for the last weekend of all the fun, kind of know who the performers are, where the standings stand, and also we have an interview with a breakaway roper.
Yep. Cole Harris sat down with a breakaway roper, and apparently
Bradi Goode.
Bradi Goode, yeah, and apparently it's really interesting. So stay tuned for that.
All right. Well, we'll get with that. We'll get started, but first, this show, the entire production we're doing here, is title sponsored by Jim Bass Ford at Houston Hart and Arden Road, and they got some deals this week for rodeo. Run it, James.
$399 per month. $399 per month on a new Ford Bronco Sport. The Bronco Sport is ready for adventure, and you can get a new Bronco Sport for only $399 per month. This deal is only at Jim Bass Ford, corner of Houston Hart at Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com. $399 per month on a new Ford Bronco Sport at Jim Bass Ford. Limited time offer.
All right.
It's another big thanks to Jim Bass Ford for sponsoring all our rodeo content, but let's jump right into it. First, let's just go ahead and talk about the bulls. It's what most people who come to the rodeo that are casual fans care about anyway.
And the bull riding is the last event. When you pay for your ticket and get in there, that is the finale of the rodeos, bull riding.
Compare it to boxing or UFC, it's the title card, it's the title fight, you know what I mean? So it's the featured event at the rodeo. And this
Before you get
year's
into the bulls too far, this is brought to you by TriStar Fleet, who sponsors all of our bull riding coverage.
Yeah.
You just I
just cut me off, yeah.
Now you have no train of thought.
But anyway, we had a bunch of good bull rides through the first 2 weeks, but none of them compared to night number 1 in Performance 1. We had a guy by the name of J.R. Stratford who posted a 90. Is one of the highest.
His name's what?
J.R. Stratford.
Stratford.
Yes.
You know, I think that 90 that he scored on the first night, it's kind of spoiled bull riding a little bit.
Really, you think?
Well, I mean, right behind him we have, what, a 5-way tie at 86.5?
Yeah.
JR's got the 90. No one's been able to beat any of those guys.
I mean, is that indicative of the fact that he got a really good ride or that the other ones just can't get over 86.5?
You know, I'm a history guy.
Yeah.
Right? I got a little history story about this.
Let's hear it.
His name's Stratford, right?
Yes.
Didn't you go to Texas Tech?
I did.
Didn't you play for Texas Tech football? What are they called?
Well, I did my best, but yes, let's go with that.
You remember they had a coach there. He was a pirate guy. His name was Mike Leach.
Uh-huh.
And he locked some kid in a storage closet or something.
First of all, he did not lock him in a closet.
Something like that. That was like when you were there, wasn't it?
It was. I think it happened spring ball my senior year in high school, so I was about to get there.
So you were about to get to play for Texas Tech, and they locked this poor kid into like a storage shed.
Yeah.
Because he said he had a concussion.
Well, or something. He said, "Oh, my head hurts, and I want to be sad about it."
So that was kind of like a spoiler for the whole thing, because eventually Leach got fired over it.
Yeah, all because
Daddy
took offense. Yeah.
And who was Daddy?
Craig James.
Craig James. Craig James went to Stratford High School in Spring Branch, graduated in '78, and he was the star running back for that football team. And then he got recruited in SMU.
Oh, okay.
So where did he go to school?
Stratford.
And he spoiled the Texas Tech football?
So
So
this
therefore,
is your roundabout.
J.R. Stratford is spoiling our bulls. But actually, it's a very congratulatory thing to come out there with such a strong score early on.
Yeah.
I hope you guys liked my history lesson.
Obscure history stories.
A very obscure, totally unrelated to bull riding.
But anyway, yeah, let's reiterate that. J.R. Stratford got a 90 on night number 1. After that, we've had tons of good bull rides, but there currently stands a 5-way tie for second place. 5 guys have an 86.5. And the one guy that I have my eye on in that 86.5 jumble there is Wasey Shala. He's an 18-year-old rookie.
He did real well at the Extreme Bulls.
Yes, he did really well at the Extreme Bulls. He had the second highest ride in Extreme Bulls in the long go. but he got
didn't
bucked
run.
off in the short go.
He got bucked off before 8 seconds.
In fact, he got drug under the bull. That was actually pretty crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But speaking of J.R. Stratford, I interviewed him after his ride on night number one.
I mean, we're going back in history. This is performance number one.
It feels like months ago at this point.
Like years ago. Anyway.
But let's go ahead and go to that interview with J.R. Stratford.
Joining me now is J.R. Stratford. Cowboy from Kansas just had probably one of the best rides that we've seen on opening day. You know, I don't know about ever, but it was pretty close. JR, how you feeling, man?
Awesome. It's a blessing to be here at a rodeo like this, and shoot, a blessing to do good. This is awesome.
Right, okay, and it was a crazy ride. The bull was spinning. It looked like you were hanging on for dear life, but you felt in control. Yeah. Just take me through the actual ride.
I felt I had him controlled for about 3 or 4 seconds, and he must have felt that because he turned another gear on, and I had to really dig down and find that cowboy try inside of me tonight to get the whistle.
Oh, and we definitely heard the adrenaline pumping. When you walked off, he was just like a let's go feel, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, you got a 90-point ride. You're topping the leaderboard right now, and a 90-point ride's impressive anywhere. Like, how good do you think your chances are of holding?
I know it'll get me back to the short round, and that was the goal coming today, was to make it to the finals. So I'll be seeing you guys in the finals and hopefully have another big score.
All right. Again, well, thanks for joining us, JR. Again, this is JR Stratford, Cowboy from Kansas, and this bull riding coverage is brought to you by TriStar.
Well, thank you, TriStar Fleet, for covering our bull riding. And before we get into talking about what J.R. Stratford said there, you know, TriStar Fleet has a display here at the rodeo, and we went over there and looked around. They are the Mahindra dealer for San Angelo in the Concho Valley. I hope that James can pull up that B-roll because it's really good.
But let's talk about the tractors. Yeah,
there you go. No, this is the Mahindra. These are the Mahindras they have on the lot up there at 3705 North Bryant at TriStar Fleet. And if you want to get there, it's you go past 29th Street about a mile. It's on the left-hand side, on the west side of the road.
And you see that billboard on the screen right there? That's the Jesus sign,
the Jesus
right?
sign, yeah. It has
So if you're coming back from Carlsbad,
you look for the Jesus sign, and underneath it are a whole bunch of Mahindra tractors at TriStar Fleet. But they just got their dealership for Mahindra this month, and they didn't go short. I mean, they went long, and they bought a lot of inventory there, so you can get pretty good deals, I think, because they got to move their floor plan. But Mahindra tractors now available in San Angelo at TriStar Fleet, 3705 North Bryant in San Angelo. Anyway, JR says he is happy that he knows now with that 90 score, he's going to be in the short go. Short go is the finals. It's on Friday night.
he says that we might have, 10 qualified rides that are 91 and above tonight. This could be the most epic night of bull riding there's ever been.
That never happens anywhere. It doesn't matter what rodeo you're at. I've been to a lot of rodeos. That never happens.
Never say never, Joe.
Never say never. But he has to be in the top 10 or top 12 to get into the short go. So
that would mean that there'd be 12 other 91-point rides.
There you go.
Yeah, but moving on, we also had a bunch of great action in the timed events. Specifically last weekend.
Explain to people what timed events are in case they're just joining us here on our 456th show about the rodeo.
So the timed events are basically anything where you're not riding, right?
No.
Like
no,
barebacks and saddle
broncs.
broncs. Yeah, let me get there, please.
Okay.
Thank you. He asked me to explain it, and then you just, anyway. So you're not scored by your ride. It's timed, and you're racing against the clock and the other competitors in that matter of fashion. And this encompasses like the steer wrestling, the tie down, the team roping, and the breakaway roping. And I think the barrel race is in there too, but we like dividing them up for our sponsors.
No,
right?
it's divided differently. It's not considered a timed event.
It's not. It's its own category.
It's barrel racing, primarily because barrel racing historically has been in the rodeo. That's the only women's event.
Yeah.
Now we have two women's events in the rodeo, which is the breakaway roping and the barrel racing.
Yeah, but in the timed events, it's those four. And so last weekend specifically, we had the new slate of cowboys and cowgirls come in and basically wiped the first weekend clean almost, like took all the top spots.
We had the first weekend, we had one slate. Then we had a second slate come in the middle weekend here. And now we're about to get into the third slate.
Right? Exactly, yes.
So the next two performances at least.
But specifically in the team roping, I
want you to pronounce his name.
Egaskiza.
Team roping, Egaskiza.
Skiza.
Ekiskiza and Lord.
And Lord, yes.
Those guys are winning by over a second.
Yeah, they lead the entire field, like in the average, by over a second right now.
7.4 seconds versus 8.4
Yeah,
for number 2.
they posted like a 3.6 and a 3.8 to get that 7.4, and yeah, they're just mopping the floor with everybody. So they're probably going to win a lot of money just in the prelims. Not to mention, I interviewed them after their run on Saturday, and they said they're going to go for it again. They said they might be a little more conservative now that they actually have won some money, but Ekiskiza in particular said he's never won the rodeo, and so they're going for it. And
so
then also breakaway. So I think
knew you were going to say breakaway. I don't know how.
We've been doing a lot of these shows. That's how. I think the average leader is still the same from the first weekend, but we had a new round leader that's probably going to win some money in that second round.
Never covered breakaway roping before. What I've noticed is the times just dropped like a rock. I mean, it went from like, you did 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds. I guess that's pretty good. They're coming in, and then all of a sudden we start getting these 1.9, 1.8, 1.7 second runs.
Yeah, and specifically, we did get one of those 1.7 second runs, and that is the leader in the rodeo, and it's Kelsey Domer. If y'all watched our show last week, I also interviewed her. She has the fastest time in the rodeo. I think she's third overall in the average. I think the average right now is like a 3.8 or something like that.
That's 2 runs.
That's 2 runs. Yeah, 2 goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You add them together and you call it the average.
Yeah. But anyway, like that actually segues us into our next segment. We've been having Cole Harris, relation to Ty Harris, is his cousin. He's been having cowboys on and cowgirls on and interviewing about their events and just getting a cowboy's perspective on the rodeo. So he sat down today with Bradi Goode. She is a breakaway roper, and James.
She's going to come in for the next 2 runs,
yes,
I guess.
Yes.
So she needs to beat that 1.7.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, James, let's go ahead and go to that interview.
Hey everyone, my name's Cole Harris. I'm here with Mr. Brad Bolen today, Mr. Lip Chip himself, and we're going to be doing an interview with breakaway roper, NFR breakaway roper from Abilene, Texas. We got Bradi Goode here. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
From Abilene, Texas. Give the people a little bit of your story, a brief summary of how you just got into rodeo.
So my family has been involved with rodeo for as long as I can remember. My grandpa has made the steer roping finals a few times, and my dad calf roped, and he made the steer roping finals 3 times. And so me and my brother, we grew up around rodeo. And I've always done every event, but breakaway roping's kind of been where I love to do. And so I took off with that. And ever since breakaway roping has grown the past few years, it's been fun. And so it's a family event.
What? Watched a Cavender's video from 3 years ago that you were barrel racing in high school and you won state, 2 times?
Yes, I'm 2-time state champion.
But you don't know barrel racing no more?
No, I was grateful enough to ride a great horse that Judy Reed let me ride. And so I had some success in the barrel racing in high school, but kind of just gave it up.
Yeah.
It's a different game when you pro rodeo barrel race. So I stuck with calf roping.
Yeah. So obviously here at San Angelo, timed events are sponsored by Lip Chip. And so last year was what did y'all sponsor breakaway the NFR last year or no? The year before that y'all did.
No, we sponsored calf roping at the NFR the last 2 years.
Lip Chip's brand is always at the NFR one way or another. You made your first NFR in the breakaway roping last year. I guess that's got to be super impactful for you.
Oh yeah, it was super, super cool. I traveled with Shelby Bosley and Kendall Pearson. So we all made it. So that was really cool.
Yeah. What was it like? I mean, it's a little bit different out there in Vegas. The lights, the hype around the rodeo, everything's just like 10 times the speed of normal rodeo. Was it hard to, I guess when you were roping and just was it more pressure? Was it just kind of ramped up, or was it not as bad as you thought it was going to be?
I think for us, since we were at South Point and we roped 5 a day and it was back to back, like you roped your first one and then you came around the back of the arena and you got ready, you tied your rope on and you roped your second round. Yeah. So it kind of calmed me down a little bit because felt like a jackpot kind of. And so it was super cool. It was cool to get out there in Vegas and rope and to be at that high kind of stakes. It was super cool. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously I did a little bit of research. I was asking my cousin Ty a little bit about you, and he said that your dad made the tie down. He was 16th in the world a lot of times in the calf roping, but he ended up making the finals in the steer roping, right? Steer tripping.
Steer tripping.
And I mean, that's gotta. He sounds like, just from the outside looking in, he sounds like a guy that had a lot of perseverance. He was gonna make the NFR one way or another, and so I'm sure that it's still like it's gotta inspire you a little bit in terms of work ethic. You know?
Yeah, for sure. He's my coach. He's taught me everything I know, and he's great about it. He knows how to break down calf roping, and I'm sure steer roping, which I don't steer rope, but I'm sure he does a great job with that too. But yeah, he does. He calls me after every time I rope, asks me how I did, tells me what I did wrong, tells me what I did right. And so he's really great about that. And he does have perseverance. And a lot of people go to him for help. So it's pretty cool that he's my dad.
Come on. So, Mr. Brad, you're going to have to tell us a story about Bradi Goode winning all your dollars from the last 2 years in a breakaway roping. That's all I heard, but you got to tell the story.
Well, she didn't win all the dollars, but, we sponsored the breakaway here for the Fiesta roping. And so when I first started doing this, I said, I want to be on the watch when one of these girls set the world record on the breakaway rope. And so, if you miss one or if you go really fast on one, you don't really get rewarded. So I always said, I think we want to put up some dollars for the fastest run of the week, no matter where it's at. So Brady's been here 2 times and she's won it both times.
Yeah.
So she qualified for the short go one time, and one time she didn't. She just went for it, and she got my money that way too.
Come on.
So I hope she gets the big check one of these days, because she's always here.
Me too.
And she plays that, a lot of these girls really get this deal, what we're trying to do with Lip Chip, with the breakaway ropers, and we're trying to promote them and being promoted back the same way. I mean, our feeling is that the girls drive rodeo a lot more than what the old guard wants to think it is, because of the simple fact that the ladies, we had Jackie here the other day, and she's bringing her kids to the carnival, and when Brady went to the NFR, I guarantee it, she was out there at Cowboy Christmas, and she had probably a new hat or some, but the ladies drive it. And so we've kind of joined forces with some of the people. We've been asked to do some stuff later in the year with some of the big breakaway ropers, and there's actually going to be $1 million breakaway roping in Arizona around Thanksgiving this year, and they can kind of go out that way, and it'll be good for them. Being that they don't have the NFR and the Thomas and Mack for them, and they're at the South Point, it's a little bit harder for them to get ramped up, because it's in and out and you're gone. And then by the time they're in there and leave, everybody else is coming in and the NFR starts. So a little different.
Yeah, Mama's run the house, so that's why they sell all the tickets. Brady, you're from Abilene. This year is the first year breakaway is in the performances.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, I guess Abilene's literally 60 minutes from here. We had Bulldogger Sam Powers from Sonora, which is 65, 70 minutes. And we considered him a hometown cowboy. So you're considered a hometown cowgirl. You got to be like on cloud 9 getting a rope, thinking about running one tomorrow. I guess it's tomorrow when you're up.
Yes, tomorrow.
You've got to be on cloud 9 thinking about running one in the Coliseum.
Yeah, I am for sure. I've always watched the calf roping and all the events here, but for some reason, San Angelo loves calf roping. And so breakaway roping's kind of just the same way. And so after watching some of the perfs on the Cowboy Channel the past few times and hearing the crowd explode and stuff, seeing girls rope fast, I'm super excited to get to rope here. This is such a cool experience, and can't thank Lip Chip enough for sponsoring it and helping us get here.
Yes, sir. Mr. Brad, breakaway for you. What are your thoughts on it being here for the first year?
Well, we're the ones that got them back in here.
Yes,
so,
sir.
The thing about it is we're really excited about it. And it's been really good. The first couple of nights, they were trying to figure out how to score this thing. And some of the big names got knocked out, and some of the big names may get knocked out. And Brady and them are going to come in and probably knock Jackie out. She's pretty close.
Yeah.
But it's been fast the last 3 goals. It's been really, really fast. So we'll see. It's going to be really fast to get back in the short go.
All right. So the last thing we're going to do, Brady, is we're going to do some predictions. I think the predictions were actually Mr. Brad Bolen's idea to begin with, but this is his first interview being on. Okay. So we're going to get you and Mr. Brad Bolen to do some interviews. to do some predictions for the timed events that are sponsored by Lip Chip.
Okay.
First, we're going to predict the steer wrestling. Brady, who are you rocking with tonight in the perf for the steer wrestling?
I think I'm going to go with Trevor Nolan. It sounds right. For some reason, I feel like he's going to do good tonight, and so I'm picking him.
What time do you think he's going to go?
It's
been right around 4s. I think there's been a couple high 3s, but it's been right around the 4 mark.
I think
over 4 or under 4. We'll just say that.
I'll go over 4, but like 4-1.
Okay.
Something some still fast, but just 4-1. I feel like it's a solid time.
I got you. And Mr. Brad, you like Mr. Duvall, Riley Duvall, just because he sounds like a cowboy.
Yeah, he sounds like a cowboy. So I'm gonna go Riley Duvall on 3-9.
3-9, let's do it. So next we're gonna do the team roping. Brady, who do you got that you're picking in the team roping?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Cody Snow and Hunter Cook. They've been roping pretty good. They're pretty high up in the standings. Hunter just won the American this past year, and Cody's Cody Snow, so I think they're gonna do pretty good.
And then time wise, I think the last perf, a couple perfs ago, we had a 3.6.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
we're
fast.
some fast threes. So what do you think time wise?
I'm thinking they're gonna go for it and probably be like 3.8. I think that's a good
3.8.
time.
It's probably, I think this is probably their first go at
Yeah.
it too. So they're maybe, they're probably gonna get high threes regardless
I think.
eventually. Mr. Brad Bolen, what do you think for team roping?
Shoot, I'm gonna go with one of the older guys. I'm gonna go with Tyler Magnus, his team. He used to be one of the best in the world. I watched him someplace not too long ago, walk in there and hadn't been to a roping in forever, and just nailed it and had the fastest time. So I'm gonna go 3-7.
3.7.
Are we gonna predict the tie down too?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, my boyfriend's up tonight. I don't know if I want to pick him. I was looking at it earlier today because I'd watched Jackie's and y'all had done this, and I was like, well, what if we do this? I'm about to pick, and like John Dowch is a bunch of people, and I love Lane to death, but I mean,
That's the you don't pick him and I'll pick him, and I'll say we got Brady in trouble now.
I know.
Next event is the breakaway roping. We would be betting on you, but you're not until tomorrow's perf.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are you rocking with tonight's perf for the breakaway roping?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Joey Williams. Her horse is one of the best going. It's been horse of the year a couple times, and she ropes so good on that horse, especially at faster setup like this. You can't count them out.
Yeah. Mr. Brad Bolen, what do you got?
I'm gonna have to agree. We're gonna go with Joey.
You're just gonna go with the expert here.
Yeah, the expert.
And trust her.
Trust her, absolutely. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so next I don't know if I'm gonna put it in.
We gotta have a time.
We gotta have a time. Thank you. What do you got for the time?
I think she's gonna be 2-3. I think that's good.
That's fast.
Yeah, it's fast. She goes pretty fast most of the time. I don't feel like she ever tracks over him anyways. So
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be pretty fast.
I'm gonna go 1-9 because they had 3 1-9s the last 3 perfs, and it seems like it's getting faster. Seems like the girls are visiting with each other, and I know nothing about this, but it sounds like they're visiting and they know how to score it a little better. So it looks like it's getting faster.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so we got tie down roping, and I don't know if it's gonna be in the interview if I cut it out or not, but Brady Goode's boyfriend is roping in the tie down tonight. And so Lane Livingston.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put you on blast a little bit. Who are you predicting in the tie down rope? Are you gonna rock with your man, or are you gonna go with there's a lot of good calf ropers up tonight.
There's a lot of good calf ropers in it for our qualifiers. And I was looking at the list earlier and I was like, I really want to pick Lane, but it's kind of hard to bet against some of these NFR tie down ropers that go really fast and are consistent and stuff. And so I hope he does good, and I really hope he gets the round win, but I think I'm going to go with John Dowch because it's hard not to bet against him.
John Dowch goes fast, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Do you only read you the list? I just realized that I didn't read you the list.
Who else is in there?
Kincaid, Corey
Yeah.
Solomon, John Dowch.
Oh, I'm going with Corey Solomon.
Yeah.
Corey Solomon, he goes fast too.
Yeah, I like Corey Solomon. Corey was always real nice to me and Ty when we were out at the NFR, and I got to know him a little bit, and he's been real respectful to me. So I'm gonna go with Corey Solomon.
Corey Solomon, how fast? Did you say how fast either?
No, I didn't. I bet John tries to go about 7-7.
7-7.
7-7's good first.
A good first round.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7-7, 7-8. Yeah, 7-8.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll wrap up there with the interview. We had Brady Goode. Thanks for doing this interview with us.
Thanks for having me.
These are the predictions for the timed events. They're sponsored by Lip Chip. Make sure you show up to the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo tonight at 7:30. It's going to be exciting. You'll see Brady Goode here tomorrow at 7:30 at the Perf. And so come both days. They'll both be exciting. We'll see you tonight.
This one goes out to the girls. Go show the world you can. Never let them hold you back just because you aren't a man. This one goes out to those underdogs who aren't afraid to bite. Change your game, break the chain. Get off that porch and fight. Today's your day in the sun. You're rolling like a young gun. Now it's your time to ride. Let your dark horse run. Let your dark horse run.
I think we need to give credit to who's the Aaron Watson for the song for the background song.
Thanks, Aaron Watson, for
but anyway,
letting us use your song.
But it's Lip Chip.
Yeah.
Lip Chip is sponsor for all our timed events, including the breakaway roping. So Cole Harris and all that is brought to you by Lip Chip.
Yeah, and that little ad that we ran right there is a perfect example of what breakaway roping is if you're new to the event, so.
You want to see what it looks like, that's what it is. Anyway, we're going from timed events and now
to the other cowgirl event.
The other cowgirl event, which is barrel racing.
The barrel racing, yeah.
This is probably, I think, for this rodeo, the 2024 rodeo, barrel racing is more exciting than it has been in 5 years.
Oh, I mean, because all the times are basically stacked on top of each other, and it's so close. Even in the average, there's a two-way tie for third place, and then the second and first place times are like 0.0 something, just right above them. So,
and we have these top three. The first thing that happened was Donna K. Rule, who we know her. She's always in the top of this rodeo for at least the last 5 years. She came in there with a smoking 14.08. Wiped the slate clean.
Led the first week and a half.
Yes, and no one could beat her. No one could touch her. We could get some 14.2s, maybe a 14.21, whatever.
Until Saturday night.
Saturday night, and we had
Jimmy K. Cox.
Yeah, Jimmy K. Cox.
She just kind of put an exclamation point on what was that night. It was the fastest barrel racing night of the entire rodeo. There were several leaderboard changes in that one performance on Saturday night, and Jimmy K. Cox.
And we were back there trying to catch the winner.
Yeah.
And who we thought was the winner kept getting taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
No, we don't need to interview you. Next.
Right. We didn't mean it like that.
Yeah.
But Jimmy K. Cox posted a 14.03 to take the top spot away from Donna K. Rule. Now, Donna K. Rule still owns the average, but Jimmy K. Cox is right behind her in that second place spot. But we also had another fast ride, and that's the third place right now, and it is Sydney Graham. She's an Abilene cowgirl, and she posted a 14.11 in her second run, and she's in a tie for third in the average as well. And I interviewed her on the matinee after the matinee performance on Saturday, and just to see what her overall thoughts were. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to that.
Before you get there, all of our barrel racing coverage is brought to you by Texas Angels Boutique. That's where you get your girls, that's where you get your rodeo outfits and things like that. It's at 221 South Chadburn in downtown San Angelo. Texas Angels Boutique. Roll it, James.
Put up a top two run in the matinee performance of the San Angelo Rodeo. 14.11. Abilene cowgirl. Sydney, just tell me how you're feeling.
I'm ecstatic. This is awesome to do good here. My mom is currently traveling to Canada right now to support her dad that's not doing well, so I wear a Canadian flare strip on my horse's nose, and to do well is just really, really exciting, and I hope that they got to see it.
Yeah. And tell me what's going through your mind, just during the run, and tell me why you chose to go to the left barrel first. I know you're allowed to, but it's not something you see all that often, and I just want to know what your preference is.
Well, he really likes to go to the left. I prefer the left, honestly, too, and all I was thinking was pick your legs up and stay away from those barrels.
No, don't knock them over, right? Now, you're from Abilene. It's right down the road. Like we said before the interview started, it's not quite San Angelo, but like that rivalry still exists, But what is it like riding in what is essentially a hometown West Texas rodeo?
It's ecstatic. I've been trying for about 6 years to be in this actual rodeo. I got back here last year but didn't do as well. So to do well this year is really exciting. And this is one of the biggest rodeos in Texas. It's part of the Texas Swing. So it's just really, really exciting.
Well, congratulations on your run, and we will be seeing you at this point next Friday. Yeah, I don't see you get bumped out. What is it going to take home that top spot?
Keep picking my legs up and let him do what he likes to do.
Yeah. All right. And again, this has been Sydney Graham. Posted a 14.11 Abilene, Texas cowgirl.
It's good we got a local girl there. Almost local. Kind of local. Abilene, Texas.
She was really nice.
Yeah.
Despite where she was born.
Did you see the eyes she gave you? I'm sorry. That's a dad thing. But anyway,
all right.
Before we go into the rodeo, we're about to go in there. Let's go over the standings, the current standings.
As of Performance 8.
All right. Let's look at them.
In the bareback riding, as of Performance 8, we have Cooper Cook leading with 8.5, R.C. Lanningham in second place with an 87, and Jacob Lease in third place with an 86.5. On to the steer wrestling. This is the average. Remember, the average adds 2 goes. It doesn't actually average them out. So after 2 goes, Matt Reeves leaves all steer wrestlers with an 8.4, Don Payne with an 8.5, and Cole Walker with an 8.7. In the team roping, as we talked about earlier in the show, Dustin Egaskiza and Levi Lord lead all team ropers with a 7.4 after 2 goes. And as you can see there, that is a full second over second place, which is Corey Kidd and Tanner Braden. In the saddle bronc riding, Sage Newman still leads. He's had this lead since, I think, last Friday with an 87.5. Lefty Holman with an 87. You could watch any of our previous shows to watch interviews with both of those guys right there. In the tie-down roping, again, this is the average. Marty Yates is in first place with a 15.5 after 2 goes. Cash Cooper is in second with 16.3, and Ryan Jarrett is in third place with a 16.4. Expect some of that to change in the next 2 performances. In the breakaway roping, Allie Masters leads after 2 goes of 4.4 seconds. Timber Allenbrand is in second place with a 4.7, and then in that third place tie, you see Kelsey Domer there. She has that 1.7 with Brooke 80 with a 4.9 seconds. In the barrel racing, Jimmy K. Cox leads the average, even though I thought Donna K. Rule still led the average. But Sydney Graham and Ashley Castleperry are in a tie for second. Abby Phillips is in fourth with a 30.56.
Timber Amberbrand's down there at number 6.
All right. So she got bumped out of the top 5, but whatever. You know.
We had a tie.
Bull riding performance. J.R. Stratford has a 90 in first place since performance 1. And then we have a 5-way tie for second place. The Jackson Carter Ward, Vanel Vince Mariano, Bo Gardner, and I didn't see the last name. One of these days, I'm going to get that last one in there.
Fast. Anyway, we got to get into the Coliseum and to start finding these guys, getting our interviews, covering this show. This is performance 9 of the San Angelo Rodeo. I used to have to say San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo, but they hold the stock show in February, and this is the San Angelo Rodeo.
The 92nd one.
The 92nd one, yes, yes. But we're going to get in there. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you, Jim Bass Ford, for your title sponsorship of it. We have a new sponsor coming into the post-game
show.
So we'll see you as soon as the rodeo's over. We're going to put this thing together, and we'll come back live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and our website, San Angelo Live, for the post-game show. Until then, I'm Joe Hyde, and this is
Ryan Chadwick. See y'all later.